Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is beef tallow smoked brisket using the foil boat method. All right, all you brisket heads out there, and really anyone that's out here on the internet trying to figure out brisket cooks, if you're doing your research, there's probably a couple of ideas you're seeing grow in popularity, and one of those is this idea of incorporating extra beef fat or tallow into your brisket cook for a juicier end product. Now, the first person I saw do this was Jeremy Yoder over at Mad Scientist Barbecue, and if he says it's a good idea, it's probably a good idea because that guy really seems to know his stuff. The other idea that we're talking about is the foil boat method. Now, the idea here, depending on who you ask, is a brisket that's wrapped in paper and then a foil boat around the outside, or just the foil boat by itself and completely unwrapped on top. The idea here is you get a brisket that's juicier and cooks faster than an unwrapped brisket, but has a better bark than a foil wrapped brisket. Pretty cool idea. Now, I'm not an expert on any of these yet, but I have a few cooks under my belt now, and I've got some ideas that maybe you haven't seen yet. So I'll give you those tips along the way. Let's go ahead and get this brisket trimmed up. So we're starting out with a whole packer brisket. Shout out to our friends at Creekstone Farms for sending over this USDA Prime, great certified Angus beef. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna trim this thing up. We've got the point that's sitting on top of the flat meat. I'm gonna expose all of that meat just because it's got so much fat running through it that we don't need any fat cap on top. We're gonna leave a healthy fat cap down here on the flat meat, which is this piece of muscle right here. And that's what we're actually going to really be working our tallow into, because this is the leanest part of the meat, so we wanna make sure that we can get it juicy. Now, all of this fat that's on top of the brisket, this is the stuff that we use to make our beef tallow rendered down. If you haven't checked out the video that we've done on that, go check it out from last week. All right, so we've got this point cleaned up here. You can see where that meets the flat. Leave a little bit of fat cap here on the flat. Just shape this out a little bit to take out some of that hard stuff. Make it nice and smooth and aerodynamic. Took out a little bit of hard fat off the back and just cleaned up that bottom side a little bit. Now this is where we're gonna see a lot of the attention that we're putting into this cook is right here on this flat. This is the piece that I'm most concerned about when it comes to the tallow. So let's go ahead and mix up some injection. Now I love this idea of including the tallow in the wrap when you actually wrap up the brisket, but I thought to myself, if there's any way we can get even more fat into the leanest part of the meat, it's to inject it. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna inject the tallow into the flat, the lean meat. And after doing this a time or two, I realized it does a great job of making the meat nice and moist, but it really does nothing beyond adding fat and some beefy flavor. We need some salt, we need some flavor in there. So just like we would mix up a brine injection, we're gonna do the same thing with the tallow. We're gonna mix our dry brine into our tallow, pump that right into the meat. So here we have our beef tallow that at room temperature is liquid. You need to thaw it out from the fridge if you've been storing it in there, which you should. We're gonna take 3/4 of a cup of this beef tallow and put it in our mason jar. We're gonna mix that with a tablespoon of our Butcher House brine. Now this is just a dry brine, pretty basic stuff. Salt, sugar, garlic, onion, really nice base of flavors. All right, so we're just gonna throw a cap on here and shake this up to dissolve some of that salt and sugar. So we're gonna load this into the pistol grip injector. And then we're just gonna work in a grid pattern, just like we always do. And anytime we're injecting a brisket or any other piece of meat, I'm gonna look for the strands of muscle. These fibers are running in this direction. I'm gonna come in at a 90-degree angle, poke around, create a little pocket, and then we'll just start pumping some of that goodness in there. And I'm just gonna seal that point of entry just for a moment while I start the next one. So remember, we're working with room temperature fat that's going into cold meat. And as this fat gets cold, it also solidifies. So it doesn't take long for it to kind of just find its place inside of the muscle fibers here and stay there. And I really don't worry about the stuff that comes back out because we can use that as a binder for our rub here in a bit. All right, let me just find a couple spots to use a little bit more of this up. Otherwise, we're gonna call that good. We're gonna take a bit of this excess fat, and we can also use it as a binder on the opposite side. All right, so now we are ready to do our seasoning. Today we're gonna be using the Cattleman's Grill Trail Dust. This is actually a rub that I developed for Cattleman's based off of a couple of different things. One being a Texas brisket. So the number one and number two things you're gonna notice in this rub, probably just the big salt and pepper. But we wanted to add a little bit more character to it. So behind that, you've got some garlic, you've got some thyme, even got some mustard seeds in there. Just a little bit more personality than your typical Texas brisket rub. But a lot of great savory flavors, and that's what we're going for. Nothing overly sweet, anything like that. And I love the texture of this rub because of its nice chunky nature. It adds a good bark to the outside of the brisket. You can kind of wipe off any excess fat that's on here. We're not trying to create a layer in between the rub and the meat. We're trying to create a layer to bind the rub to the meat. All right, that is nicely seasoned up. We're gonna let it set up just a little bit to really attach to the meat, and then it'll be ready to go on the smoker. But today we're smoking on the Yoder Smokers YS-640S pellet grill. We're running it at 225 degrees with hickory pellets. And when you run the Yoder low and slow, I mean under 225 even, for long periods of time with a wood like hickory or oak or even pecan, something with a heavier smoke profile, that's how you really pump that smoke into your brisket. Now 12 hours ago, last night, I put a brisket on this grill. So let's take a look at what's happened in those last 12 hours because we've done literally nothing but let it sit and smoke. All right, so you can see we've got a really beautiful bark going on right now. Let's check this temp. We're just over 160, coming up on 165 here in the flat. And so we do have that flat meat on the top because we injected from the top just to keep as much of that fat inside as possible. Good bark going on the bottom as well. Over here on the point, you can just see how squishy that point meat is because it's got all that fat that already runs through the muscle. So at this point, we're ready to do our foil boat. Now our new brisket, we're just gonna throw this on the bottom. Off to the right here, our heat source is off to the left, so keep it indirect even though we're cooking nice and low. For this foil boat method today, I'm gonna choose to wrap it in butcher paper first and then do the foil boat around the outside of the paper. And this is just, it's a matter of what you wanna get out of the brisket in the end. We've talked about this so many times, whether to wrap in foil or paper or not at all. It all comes down to preference because there's trade-offs in each and every direction. For me, I want the juiciest, most flavorful brisket that I can get, and I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of softening of the bark if that's what it takes to get it. All right, so we're going down on 2 sheets of our butcher paper. We're just gonna hit it with a little bit of this tallow just to coat that surface. Anywhere that's gonna touch the brisket, I want just a little bit of tallow down on that. And again, tallow, I mean, you can now buy this stuff at the grocery store, but if you're trimming your own briskets, you've already got it. You've already paid for it. So go check out that video on how to render down your own tallow. Go ahead and throw any of these juices that have collected from the pan on top. Actually just gonna flip this brisket. Wanna be able to encase it in this paper that's got the tallow on it. One roll and then fold. And we'll keep it super tight. There we go. Now for our foil boat. 1 long piece of foil doubled over. Brisket right in the middle, and then we start to just crimp up the edges. So we're sitting it in this boat. The foil, of course, is going to help retain some more heat on the bottom, thus cooking it quicker, and of course holding in any juices that could possibly escape, thus making it juicier in the end. That's what it looks like. All right, so the way we've got this wrapped up, we've got the flat on top still, so fat cap on the bottom still. I'm gonna take my probe just to keep an idea of where we're at, and I wanna find the thickest part of this flat, and that's where we're gonna insert our probe. Well, we're about 16 hours into this cook now, and our brisket is finally done. We've come up to an internal temperature of about 204, 205. What I want to do now is just pull this thing off and let it rest, ideally for a couple of hours. And during that time, that temperature is going to creep up just a little bit more. Everything should break down just perfectly. So we've got our main probe that's probing at about 205, really nice and tender, not a lot of resistance going on. I did go ahead and make another little hole up here so I could check with an instant read, and again, not much resistance there. We're looking at 204 on the internal. So we're gonna slide this out of here now. So for now, I'm just gonna let this rest. I'm just gonna throw it in a cooler. You throw it in the Yeti, we're gonna throw it in our Cambro today. Whatever you've got that will hold the heat. If it keeps something cold, it'll keep it warm. So put it in that spot where you can keep it not hot, but just warm for a period of time that it can rest. 2 hours, like I said, would be ideal. If you gotta go less, give it an hour at least. Well, we are rested up. It's time to open this thing, slice into it. You can see it's just completely saturated, that paper, with all of that fat, all those juices. Oh wow, it smells incredible. Set that guy down. That's got some good jiggle to it. Yeah. Now, we definitely softened up that bark during the wrapping process, but that's to be expected. The real question is, how juicy is it on the inside? I'm gonna go ahead and take the flat and separate away from the point. Shave off some of this extra fat from the point meat. That just feels like Jello. Oh yeah, it's so soft. Juice is just pouring out of there. Take a look now at our flat. It's kind of the thick end over here. But slicing really easy. Well, you can see that juice running through there. That extra tallow we pumped into it. The cook, I mean, that looks pretty good. Minimal tug. Nice smoke ring around the outside there. Let's have a taste. I'm gonna get some of that fat cap on there as well. My goodness. That is about the beefiest brisket that I've ever tasted. And that salt content is just right on point. I think I told you guys before, in testing these recipes out when I injected with just tallow, it was really juicy, there just wasn't a lot of flavor there. But we've really pumped that flavor all the way into the center of this thing. And then that tallow just gives it the mouthfeel, because that fat carries flavor. So as it coats your mouth, you really get to experience all of those flavors. Over here on the point meat, just take a look at one of these slices. See, while that bark might have softened a little bit in the center, still great texture on it. And the flavor's fantastic. I mean, like we talked about, kind of a basic savory set of flavors with salt, pepper, garlic, onion, and then a few special items in there that just set it apart. Now, that foil boat method, is it worth it? I think it might be. I think it might be worth the try. It's hard to say because we did mix two techniques today. So there were two variables, not a very scientific setup, probably something we need to explore separately. But the tallow did its job, kept that flat nice and juicy with that injection. And then there's the boat. Didn't quite have a perfect crunchy bark on it. We lost some of that. Definitely softened up in the wrap. So maybe that's something we need to explore as far as not using the butcher paper and just going with a foil boat on a naked brisket. I think there's a lot of possibilities, a lot to play around with, and I hope you guys will try it out and let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.